Hey, how's it going? It's Balrog. This is just a quick video for the people I am carrying through Halo 2's LASO difficulty to watch before we start the run. For most of this run, I'm just going to have you sit back and wait and let me handle things, but there are a handful of things that you'll need to know as we go, and there are a handful of places you'll need to follow me and some things we'll need to do together. So the most important thing you'll need to know for this entire run is the concept of head glitching, which I will demonstrate now. To do this, you need to look all the way to the ground and walk directly into a wall or corner, depending on where we are, depending on the level. What this does is it will clip your head into the wall, which essentially makes you invisible to enemies in this game, as they always look for and shoot at your head, so if they can't see your head, they don't really care about the rest of your body. They can still walk around and happen to bump into you, however, in which case they might try to take a melee swing at you or something similar. So, if you've signed up for this, I assume you know what all the skulls do, but just in case, there are two that are particularly important for you in this run, and the first is the blind skull, and as you can see, it removes all elements of your HUD. You cannot see your shield, or ammo, or grenades, or what weapon you have equipped, or most importantly, your targeting reticle. So before we start, what I recommend you do is load up a multiplayer game of Team Snipers, or just get a sniper rifle, and put a piece of tape or something similar right over where your reticle goes, so you always know where you are shooting. You won't really need to shoot anything during this run, so it's not essential, but it will help during the Gravemind wave skip. The second skull that's important to us in this run is the Black Eye Skull. This skull makes it so that your shields do not regenerate automatically, and you can only restore them by killing something with a non-energy sword melee strike. This does have a nice positive effect though, in that it will allow us to get up to 2 layers of overshield if we play our cards right. Most importantly though, it does not necessarily have to be an enemy that we are killing for the shield. There are also a few inanimate objects around the levels that we can destroy for shields, such as these turrets. As you can see, that gave me exactly 1 bar of shield. I was missing a little bit of my normal shield, and it gave me the rest of that bar plus a little bit of the bar of overshield. And killing that marine gave me exactly 1 more bar. So just be aware that throughout the run I'm going to be asking you to melee turrets or marines to death just to get more overshield. Just make sure you do not use an energy sword to do so. With all that said, I will be telling you most of what we're going to do as we go, but there are a handful of level-specific things I would like you to know before we get into the run, so let's get started with Cairo Station. So this is the airlock part of Cairo Station. At this point, you'll be a few rooms back head glitching into the wall, but as soon as I get about halfway through this room, it's going to teleport you in here with me. I need you to follow me closely over to the door here, and I'm going to kill the 2 jetpack elites that spawn as soon as they appear. When they die, I'll need you to follow me very quickly out this door, and we're going to walk up this ramp right here and out of bounds over there. So this is the path we're going to take. Just drop down here, do a normal jump onto this column, and just walk up this ramp here, and then jump right over here. You will need to do this a bit quickly, as we'll be followed by jetpack elites, but just follow closely behind me here, and the rest of this path is pretty easy. The next section you'll need to know about is shortly after that. This is right before the final outside section of the level. In the airlock here, there are 2 plasma pistols on the ground. Despite the famine skull, these are always 100% full, so I would like you to pick up both of these for me, and dual wield them, and carry them to the bomb room. As soon as this door opens, immediately go left as soon as we can and jump off the edge right here. We are going to be doing a grenade jump up to a small area in order to skip some enemies and drop right into the elevator. You can practice this jump if you'd like, but it's really not too difficult, and we do get a checkpoint right before it there. I'll be throwing the grenade right about here, and you're going to be jumping right up into that little space. And here's what that's going to look like, and again, I can throw this grenade for you as well. Thanks to the Sputnik skull, we can get right up here. So, as soon as we jump over that pipe, a couple of jetpack elites are going to spawn, and they are quite dangerous. So as soon as we get over, we're going to head glitch and walk along the wall, and it's going to look like this. We're going to jump up on this pipe, and you kind of have to crouch and then jump again on this pipe to get over it. But we're going to get on the other side here, head glitch right here, just walk along this wall. There is a small corner here you kind of have to go through, and just drop right into this elevator. When the elevator opens, you can walk over here. There are going to be a couple of weapons. Just swap your pistols for them. and then I will show you where to go right here. You're going to want to run right to the back of the room and jump up right on this little slanted section here, and you'll be safe. Don't go too high, however, because if you go all the way to the top, there is a chance these elites over here will be able to see you, and they might shoot at you or come back, so be about right in the middle. And just stay here for the rest of the level, and you should be good. The next important note I have for you is on the mission The Oracle. After leaving the room in which the flood appeared for the first time, we're going to get on the elevator. You'll need to camo immediately upon entering this door and go to the exact spot I show you right here. You're going to get directly on the left side of this column, exactly in this position, and keep walking forward. You will be head glitching on this pillar all the way to the bottom. When you reach the bottom, just wait for my signal to move. When I tell you to, you're going to camo while you are still head glitched inside of the pillar, then run immediately to this door on the right. I'm going to be clearing the path here for you, but if you do happen to run into any flood, just jump right over them. Just make sure you don't bump into them. For this next section, you're going to be following me closely. I'm going to clear this door first, and then we're going to go right inside, and to the end of this hallway. We're going to break the glass here, and we both have to jump down onto this floor, then we're both immediately going to jump back up. To do that, we're going to get right on the lip of that pillar and then jump to the left side of the second floor platform here. So right here, and then right here. And then we are just going to walk right back out of the room. What this does is, when we're both down there, it's going to start a 12-minute timer, and after that 12 minutes is up, that door behind us is just going to open and we can walk right on through. We're then going to come right in here, jump up here, and head glitch right into this pillar. You can just stand here, you don't have to walk forward the whole time, and then we are going to take a 12-minute break. And through the magic of editing, we can make 12 minutes pass immediately. After 12 minutes, we're going to go out this door and straight to the end of the hall. We're going to camo right at the last pillar, walk into this door and wrap very tightly around the right side. Camo right there, and then jump down, in, and into the right corner. After a moment, we're going to walk directly forward to this corner, then walk directly in front of this pillar so we are blocking the door. On to Delta Halo now. This is at the very beginning of the mission. I'm going to hit a couple of turrets with a rocket launcher and kill a few grunts, and then you're going to follow me right out of bounds. We're going to go up this section here, and then walk straight forward up this small hill. We're going to jump over there, and then get right on top. You can just walk over this part right here. You do have to do a jump here, and stay to the left here. And you have to jump just a bit earlier than it looks like you do to get over this part. If you miss it, you'll just slide a little bit down. Just try again and jump a bit earlier than it looks. At this point, I actually have a small job for you to do. I'm going to have you sit at a certain point on the cliff edge, and when I give you the cue, I'm going to have you go a little bit further down to spawn in the next section for me. You're going to come right down here into this little divot out of the mountainside and wait right around here for my signal. When I give you the cue after about a minute, I want you to walk right down here to the edge and look to your right. As soon as you are low enough to spawn in the next section, a bunch of jackal snipers are going to spawn right over there, and when they do, immediately turn around and run right to safety. So here we go. There they are. Immediately turn around and just run right back up here to the plateau where you'll be safe. And just wait for me up here for the rest of the mission. So, next up is the mission Regret, and this is the mission in which I will require the most from you. Aside from the Regret fight itself, you basically have to stick with me for this entire mission, and there are going to be a couple of parts we have to run through together. As such, I will need you to get and maintain shield throughout this entire mission, and to do that, what we're going to do is as soon as the mission starts, we're going to jump right up here, and go into that hallway where there are going to be 4 elites waiting for us, and I will need you to assassinate at least one of them for some overshield. So we're going to jump up here immediately when the mission starts, wrap right around here, and they will be spawning in. There are going to be 2 to 4 of them based on how fast we kill them. And as soon as you get your assassination, I will need you to immediately turn around and go head glitch right in this corner here. Make sure to do this quick as there will still be buggers in the previous room. You'll need to crouch and walk forward here. Make sure you are exactly in this corner, and then you can see a little bit of the out-of-bounds watery area in your upper right-hand corner there. I'll be over here killing a few things, but as soon as I give the signal, come over here with me and jump right on top of this light fixture. And we're going to head glitch right into the wall together up here. And this, after a few seconds, should despawn all the buggers in the previous room, so that the Marines will come forward, so that we can safely kill the Marines for shield if we need to. So, after I finish clearing the snipers outside, the next thing we're going to do is a grenade jump across the bridge in order to get onto the gondola early. I prefer to use a frag grenade for this jump, and wanted to note that you start the mission with a plasma grenade selected. So, if you use the technique I'm about to show you to jump across the bridge, make sure to swap grenades before the jump. So, what I'm going to do here is throw a grenade right around here, and then use it to jump right across this broken section of the bridge to get to the other side. And this jump really isn't too bad, thanks to the Sputnik skull. But when we get to the other side, we're going to walk right through that room, jump onto the ledge of this balcony, then jump from the very end of the balcony right onto the gondola. So, frag grenades have a tendency to bounce when you throw them, so it's sometimes difficult to do precise grenade jumps with them. However, if you look directly down at your feet and then crouch, when you throw the grenade, it will just sit directly at your feet and not move. Let's see that jump one more time real quick. As you can see, I'm facing the wall directly and I'm positioned right on the top upraised section of the bridge. Face all the way down, crouch and throw the grenade directly at your feet, and as soon as the grenade's on the ground, go ahead and start jumping over and you'll be propelled to the other side. I also want to note that just in case you don't quite make it all the way across and land on this little piece, it is still recoverable. All you need to do is get to the very end of this and do a similar thing we did for the jump. Just crouch, throw a grenade right at your feet, and jump straight in the air, and it will propel you up and over. This does cost you a bit more shield though, so I'd like to avoid that if possible, but no big worries if we have to do it that way. So the next jump we have to do is going to be from this balcony railing right onto the gondola. This isn't too bad at all, just make sure to jump right at the end of the rail and you should be fine. And if you want a little insurance, make sure to crouch at the end there too, just in case. After that, you'll be going right down here and head glitching right here. And I'm going to go start the gondola for us. The next room you'll need to know about is shortly after the first underwater elevator. This is the room with the large projection of regret in the middle. We're going to run through this room following this path here. It's important that we escape this area with you having some overshield intact, so we may need to repeat this room a few times to make sure that you escape with either red or white shield. Make sure to jump down this railing here, come back right here to get away from the hunters, run into this room and immediately jump off the side and head glitch back here. This next part is the rush to the final gondola and is the sole reason we'll be keeping your shield up this entire mission. Follow the path I do here, except maybe don't fall down there. Jump right over here and wrap very tightly around the left side of this tree to avoid any needles that may be chasing you. Make a dead run for the gondola at this point because we want to hit the button on the gondola as soon as we can to avoid more enemies spawning. And finally, I'm going to show you the area we are going to head glitch for the entire gondola ride over to Regret's Tower. You need to put your head all the way down and be walking straight forward into this wall here. You do need to be almost exactly perpendicular to this wall for this head glitch to be as effective as possible. I have one small note on Sacred Icon, and that is after I finish the fight with the first enforcer, you'll need to jump onto this gondola with me to get it to start. After you jump onto the gondola and it begins to move, I'd like you to immediately jump onto one of these locks here, and then jump right back off, as so. And it is time at last for the infamous Gravemind. This level has a vicious reputation, but follow my directions here and we'll get through it with no trouble at all. First things first, as soon as the level starts, we're going to be under fire from two brutes, one on the left and one here on the right. What I will need you to already be doing as soon as the level loads is moving backwards and jumping. This gives you the highest chance to survive the initial brute onslaught. By the time you get to about right here, I should have the left brute dead and the right one should be enraging. What I'll need you to do at this point is jump right on top of one of these pillars and stay there. Any of the 4 in this little square will work as long as you're in a position to be able to jump into the stands behind you. You're going to stay right on top of this pillar for quite a bit of time, as I'm going to be using you as what the fishermen refer to as bait, or if you prefer something more gallant, you're going to be a distraction for the enraging brute. The idea here is that we draw the brute over to your pillar and coax him into trying to attack you. You will be safe as long as you stick right on top of this pillar, which will give me the opportunity to run around the room and kill the grunts that are hiding in the side doors, as well as set up a few other things in the room as I would like to have them. When I'm done setting up the room, I'm going to have you jump into the stands behind you, and I'm going to pull the brute over to me on this projector. Once I'm sure he's fully fixated on me, I'm going to have you jump down and get into the middle door on the left side of the room. Or the right side if you're facing the exit as I am currently. From inside of that room, I'm going to have you get into the correct position to do your half of the wave skip. Let's go over that more now. So, without going into too much detail on the technical side of things, the idea is that we both need to stand in extremely specific positions in the room in order to avoid the checks the game uses to spawn in the next few waves. There is one more wave of enemies that we're going to have to deal with no matter what we do, but using this strategy we're going to prevent 4 of the next 5 waves of enemies from spawning. So, as I mentioned a moment ago, your position for the skip is going to be right inside of this door here. As you see, the door is red, which means that it's locked and that we are not really supposed to be able to get into it. Fortunately, you can simply walk into one of these 2 corners, which will trick the game into thinking that we're already on the other side of the door, which will prompt the game to open the door to let us out, which will in turn let us get in. So, to orient yourself correctly to perform the wave skip, you'll need to be in classic graphics, and you'll need to pay attention to these lights up here. You're going to move back slowly until you can only see 2 of the lights on the top row and 1 of the lights on the bottom row on both sides. And you want to make sure that you're facing directly at the door across from you while you set this up. And it's going to look something like this. So, take special note here of exactly how these lights look. You should be able to see just 1 group of lights on the bottom row on each side, as well as most of 2 groups of lights on the top row. But you do not quite want to be able to see all of the outsidemost row of lights on both sides, which is this row. You should be able to see the first 2 lights clearly, plus a little sliver of the 3rd light. There is a bit of leeway here, and it will still work if you can only see 2 of these lights, or if you see just a bit more of the outside. Still, try to make your screen look as close to this as possible for the skip. And remember, I'm going to be over on the pedestal holding the brute the entire time you're going to be doing this, so there is no rush to get into position, there is no time limit. You can also crouch here to move a bit more slowly to fine-tune your position. When you are in the correct position, just let me know, and I'm going to finally kill the brute that we've been juggling back and forth this entire time, and get into position myself for the skip. As soon as Cortana says the line, "Oh, I don't think so," we're going to stand perfectly still in our positions for right around 20 seconds. As long as we are both positioned well, we're going to prevent several waves of enemies from spawning here at all. After those 20 seconds have passed, the only wave in the room we cannot skip will spawn. A grunt is going to spawn right inside of this room with you, but don't panic as he's going to be running away from you and should run around you. I'd like you to backsmack him to get your shield back if you can, and if you're feeling particularly brave, you can also shoot the grunt that's going to come out of the room directly in front of you with the needler and kill him as well. But it's not necessary to do, as I can do that instead if you don't feel comfortable doing so. After that's done, just back up to the far end of this room, where you'll be safe, and just wait for me to kill the enemies from this wave. Similar to the first wave, I'm going to be keeping one brute alive and positioning him in the same spot, and when I give you the cue, I would like you to move forward and get back into the exact same position to skip the last waves. As we won't be getting any more enemies, no more grunts will spawn in here with you, so just stay right in that position and you should be fine. So, this video doesn't cover absolutely everything you'll need to know for the run, and I'll be giving you a number of small directions as we go along, but it does cover the most important parts you need to know, and pretty much anything you'll need to practice beforehand or just know visually. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in Cairo Station.